You're reading those letters again, aren't you?
Yes.
You want to tell me what happened?
Where should I start? I guess I should start from the beginning. It all started November 6th, 1860, when Lincoln was elected president.
Looks like since the country split not too long till Lincoln might call in some troops. Things have been crazy ever since he was voted president 5 months ago.
Does that mean that you were going to be called to war?
Oh no, I doubt that they will call me. Let's get some rest.
Then came April 15th. John, with about 75,000 other troops, were called into the war. I was scared. A couple days later, I got another letter from John.
Dear Mary, it has only been 2 days and something major has happened. Today, Virginia has seceded from the Union and made another state in the Confederate States. It is odd that this all started on December 20th when South Carolina seceded from the Union, sparking Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas to follow not too much longer. Doing this caused the Confederate States of America to be formed with Jefferson Davis. I will have to start battling soon, which partly scares me, but I think that I will be fine. I have to trust in all of my comrades, and I know that they will lead us to a victory. Even though I may be far away from you, I have faith that I will be home soon. My comrades are calling me, so I think I will go now. Sincerely, John. P.S. Please don't worry about me. I will be fine.
My resting quarters are at Epiphany.
Interesting tale, old chap.
Are you looking for a new bed and or couch? Come on down to the couch mistress.
I think we'll...
Now let's go on down to the couch mistress.
I guess we can look.
The furniture is all cardboard.
Yeah, it's top of the line.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to go to Bed Bath & Yonder.
Bed Bath & Yonder for all your everyday needs.
I began to get a new letter every now and then, telling me what was happening in the war, and if something important had happened.
April 20th. Dear Mary, today wasn't a good day. Robert E. Lee resigned from the Union forces because he believed that he had no right to harm his own state. He will be fighting on the Confederate side from now on, which can lead to trouble for us, as he is a very dangerous leader capable of bringing men to their knees. The thought is kind of scary, but I know we will still win this. In other news, yesterday, President Lincoln put a blockade on southern ports, meaning the South won't receive goods from other states. This should give us the upper hand as the Southern won't receive any imports from the outside world. I hear news is about the South, but I suspect an easy victory for us. The Army is a pretty tough place, but I must protect those who I love and protect my country. Other than not much happened that is interesting. I must go now. Sincerely, John.
The letter seemed to fade, and I began to worry. I was about to write him another letter, but then I received another letter from John.
July 4th. Dear Mary, sorry I haven't wrote for a while, but a lot has been going on. I'm scared. A lot of my friends are dying. I can't sleep at night anymore, and most of all, I miss you. Today, the President called for 500,000 more men to be brought into the Army. While it isn't near the original call of 750,000 troops, I feel weak and sick to the fact that more men will come and die. The feeling of dread takes over me, but I must persevere through it. After all, the war can't be too much longer, right? I wish I could sleep, but the deaths will continue to haunt me. It is horrible to think about. I hate the feeling of waking up not knowing if you will live or die, and feeling the same exact feeling towards my comrades. I'll try to go to sleep now. I hope we will see each other soon. Sincerely, John.
Drat, my horse carriage has interfered with a nice young mistress.
Is that so?
No, I actually just dropped my baby in the river. Of course I crashed.
Very well then. Perhaps you should try Union Family Insurance. Preposterously better than Progressive.
I think I'll just buy a new carriage then.
Okay then, I hope you find a life while you're at it. If you're broke as a joke, come to Union Family Insurance and get an insurance quote. Oh, I'm a poet and I didn't even know it.
Again, the letter stopped coming, so I assumed that either John was busy or that nothing had happened. I still remember the day, July 21st, the Battle of Bull Run. That was when John died. I remember soldiers coming to my home telling me that General McDowell led the Union to a horrific death. They spared no details and told me how Thomas Jackson was like a wall, and when trying to evacuate back to Washington, John was shot in the back of the head. I didn't want to believe the soldiers, but they had no reason to lie. That moment seemed to last forever, as if the world stopped spinning and I was stuck having those words echo in my head over and over. After that, I didn't pay too much to the war, but I do remember some things. On November 1st, McClellan was made General-in-Chief after the resignation of Wilfield Scott, and then 7 days later, we nearly avoided a war with the genius of our president, who only wanted to fight one war at a time. Look at me mumbling on. Now please, leave me for a while. I need to rest.
My peacock feather, too, is so unfashionable.
So you're telling me that a peacock feather doesn't have fashion?
Yes?
Okay then. Anyways, you should try out the Samsung Feather 4 from Lincoln Mobile. Want to know where the feathers come from?
Yeah.
It comes from dead birds. Just kidding. It came from an eagle. Works all the time.
Okay, well, how much is it?
$759.
Jeez.
Got you again. It's actually 30 coins. And if you add a line to Lincoln Mobile now, get a telegraph free. After mail-in rebate, you must sign a 40-year contract. Pay one feather 4 and price of 2 and get the second one free.
Seems legit.
Epilogue. Mr. John Decker and Mrs. Mary Lamb had met at a Bed Bath & Yonder, where Mary had previously worked, and fell in love at first sight when John was looking for a couch to put inside his house. They began dating for a while and got closer and closer. Soon John asked Mary to move in with him as she was going to have to leave because she could not pay the rent of her own home. At this point, Mary then found out that John was in the army, which made her very scared, but John always reassured her. Not too long after Mary had settled in is when Abraham Lincoln became the president and when the country split into two. John had spent many years in the war, and after the war he even decided to go to community college. Just kidding, because he died in the war after the Battle of Bull Run. Revolving to what happened after the war, Mary had become old and depressed. At one point, Mary became so depressed that she couldn't even take care of her own home, which is why she needed a cleaning lady. After a while, the cleaning lady became very skeptical of how Mary Lamb was always looking at those letters, and finally she had the guts to ask her. Not too long after Mary told the cleaning lady about the heroic tales of John, Mary died. I guess after all this time, Mary finally would get her own wish of seeing John after so long.